Hi folks, we're going to take a look at page 308, number 6C. So here they give us vectors u and v with their magnitudes, and they tell us that the angle between the two vectors is 60 degrees. And they want us to find the unit vector in the direction of u plus v. Okay, so first let's recall how we can do that. If I have any vector, all right, and I want to find the unit vector in the same direction as that given vector, all I have to do is multiply the vector by 1 over its magnitude. Or it's also acceptable to say the vector divided by its magnitude. All right, so this will produce a vector that's in the exact same direction as u, but with magnitude of 1. And of course, u hat is our notation for a vector with magnitude 1. All right, so let's start by finding u plus v. So here, notice that because they give us the angle between the vectors, I'm going to start by placing them tail to tail. So here, say this is vector u, the magnitude of 8, and then here, vector v, make it a little longer, magnitude of 10, and the angle between them is 60 degrees. All right, so if I want to determine u plus v, I'm just going to move this vector v over so that I can place it tip to tail. Easier to add that way, and so there's my vector u plus v. Okay, now of course I know that the magnitude of this unit vector is going to be equal to 1, so it's not so much that I have to calculate this magnitude, but if I want the direction of this vector, because I haven't been given the direction of vector u plus v, I'm going to have to calculate that here. But before I can determine the direction, for which I'm going to use angle theta here to compare the direction between in relation to vectors u and v, I need to find that magnitude. All right, so let's find the magnitude of u plus v. And again, seen this many times, it's just going to be cosine law. So here it's going to be 8 squared plus 10 squared minus 2 times 8 times 10 times cosine of, and this is where we have to be careful because this angle of 60 that was given was between the two vectors. 60 is not an angle inside this triangle, but because vector v, when I move it along, these two are parallel, this angle inside the triangle is just supplementary to 60, so it's just going to be angle 120. Okay, so cosine of 120. So make sure you don't just automatically input whatever angle you're given. Make sure it's the correct one, or in this case here it wasn't. You needed to do some analysis. All right, so here, let's calculate this here. We have square root of 8 squared 64 plus 10 squared 100 minus 2 times 8 times 10 times cos of 120. And we have about 15.6. Okay, or actually, you know what? I just realized there's no need to I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this exactly. So 64 plus 100 minus 2 times 8 times 10 times cos 120. Let's see if we can get a nice answer here, because cos 120 is a nice answer. It's just 244, so square root of 244. By the way, I'd be perfectly happy if you approximate here. Okay, so now what I'm looking for is this angle theta. And again, in order to avoid any issues with the ambiguous case, I'm just going to use cosine law again. So cosine inverse of, so its opposite side is 10, so 10 squared minus 8 squared minus 2 root 244 squared, which of course is just going to be 244. All right, and then here negative 2 times 8 times root 244. All right, so let's calculate that here. So we've got cos inverse, open up a bracket for the numerator, so 100 minus 64 minus, as we said, square of root 244, it's just going to be 244, divided by, open up another bracket for the denominator, negative 2 times 8 times square root of 244. Oh, too many 4s there. There we go. And we get 33.7 degrees. All right. So now, if I'm looking for my unit vector in the direction of u plus v, so it's just going to be 1 over root 244 times the vector u plus v. Okay, and of course, because the magnitude is root 244, the new magnitude is just going to be 1, and the direction of the vector, I'm going to say it's 33.7 degrees from u towards v. Okay, so 33.7 degrees from u toward v. All right, now had you drawn this a little differently, maybe put the 10 here and the 8 up there, then your answer would have been a little different. It would have started at v and gone towards you. Okay, so a couple of things to keep in mind here is if you want to find a unit vector in the same direction, okay, this is how you can do that. So in this case here, we needed to find u plus v essentially to get its direction, okay, because we knew the end result was just going to be the unit vector in that direction. All right, that's it for this one.